So they do that. Let's say they do that. I have to go through my emergency sequences. Okay, step one, I turn my air back on. Step two, I trace my hoses, undo the knot, put the regulator back on my mouth, start to breathe. Okay, now I'm going to fix my strap. Forget about the goggles. Those are lost in the water.
Right.
And they just keep hitting you with problem. So the minute you solve that problem, you might get one breath of air and they come back down and do it again. It ends when they give you the whammy knot, which is the knot that is the problem underwater that's impossible to solve. You have to try, recognize that it's unsolvable, and then slowly ascend to the surface to save your own life. You have 4 tries to pass the test. And if you don't, your days of becoming a Navy SEAL are over. You're done. You failed to complete this evolution. So I went down, and it took me 3 tries. On my second try, I could not solve a problem. I was beat up. They tied my hoses in knots. I turned my air back on, and when I turned my air back on, I can see that there were bubbles coming out. Whenever I moved that mouthpiece to my mouth, I think I was pinching the hose and I wasn't being able to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't figure it out, was really stressed out, started to panic, thought about bolting to the top of the surface, which is very dangerous. If you're on compressed air to just bolt to the surface, that's an automatic failure. So I was like, well, I'm not going to bolt. I can't breathe. And I started to do that thing where you start to like, almost like you're going to choke.
Right.
Like, and then I just totally relaxed and started breathing. I was underwater, didn't have the mouthpiece in my mouth, but I felt like I was breathing, and then I went to sleep. And what happened was, I pretty much drowned underwater. A rescue diver had to dive down, pull me out of the water safely. They put a mouthpiece in my mouth. They had to do some compressions to resuscitate me on the side of the pool. I threw up the water. And that's when they looked at me and told me that I failed and asked what was wrong with me.
Oh man,
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, no,
you think about some of the self-talk that you go through is like, hey, it's just training. They're not gonna kill me. But the truth is they push you really to your limit.
Yeah, for sure. Also, I would imagine that some people have unfortunately maybe passed away during the training.
They have, and that's never acceptable.
Right.
And there's extensive reviews that go on. The community is not trying to do that, but they do want you to get a hard look at your limits. And for me, I went to my limit, and there was this, you're going home thinking, okay, I failed the test, so I got to go do it. So I'm scared because I just drowned. but I haven't passed yet. I'm sort of proud of myself because I said, hey, at least I didn't quit. I was going to die in that pool. Like that, my mind set is strong. And then the third aspect is like there's kind of some embarrassment. Like my buddies had passed on the first and second evolution, so there was a lot to process there. And I actually remember calling my parents and saying, I don't think I'm going to make it. But fortunately, on my next try, my third try, I was able to persevere and stay calmer underwater. But it's just never over in that course. You got past Hell Week, you're feeling good, and then all of a sudden you're drowning at the bottom of a 10-foot pool. You're just like, God, they just don't let up.
Right.
But
no, so so then I guess you get through all this stuff, and then I guess, and I'm kind of finding out more about like the different SEAL teams. I think maybe SEAL Team 6 seems like you hear a lot about them, and I think maybe that was a team that maybe went in and maybe got Bin Laden and things like that.
yes.
So I guess after like kind of making it through, what do they assign you to a SEAL team? And if so, like what goes into that?
Yeah, so I was not a SEAL Team 6. A SEAL Team 6 is a cut above. So SEAL Team 6 will take on SEALs from all the other SEAL teams. They have their own selection course.
Okay.
So after a certain amount of experience, I don't know, maybe it's between 5 and 10 years of experience, SEAL Team 6 will allow you to try out for them. So they are a different mission, and by far, the top tier of special forces. So the rest of the SEAL teams, we're all either on the East Coast or the West Coast, and there really isn't any necessarily any rhyme or reason. There's a deployment cycle the teams interchangeably deploy. So when we were at the height of our wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, there's always just a team deployed. There's always a SEAL team back home in training, and there's always a SEAL team that just got back from being deployed.
Okay.
And so you're kind of rotating through to support that. They ask each student before he graduates where he'd prefer to live, whether it's on the East Coast or the West Coast. The rest of it is just like luck of the draw.
Okay.
They try to let guys who want to stay in California stay there. Guys that want to go to Virginia, that they'll accommodate that. So
Okay.
there's not much interchangeably different with the SEAL teams aside from SEAL Team 6.
Got you. So then is it, I guess, any like maybe cool stories or noteworthy stories as like actually being a part of the SEAL team that you can share, or?
Yeah, the experience was great. You go to a SEAL team, you check in. It's about a 20-person platoon of guys. That's your unit.
Okay.
And that platoon is your family. And you start. It doesn't matter that I had Marine Corps experience. It doesn't matter that my buddy next to me was an Olympic triathlete. When you show up to a SEAL platoon, you're a new guy.
Right.
They call you an FNG. A froggy new guy.
Right.
And then you just start to build. You start to work together, and you go through an entire workup. You build trust. You learn all the tricks and tips from the guys with more experience. You take on more responsibility, and ultimately you go out the door and you go take it to the enemy.